Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. Today I'm going to be talking about how to drop your remote for your camera. I'm going to be talking about how to hire a good property management company. Some of you that have been asking me for more real estate videos, I decided to finally give in and give you a real estate video. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, you can check out my whole playlist of real estate videos here if you're interested in doing real estate investment. I've been doing real estate investment since I was 19 years old. I actually retired from real estate investment, made a lot of money. I own a bunch of real estate, not to brag, but it's a really, really good investment, and I highly encourage you to pursue it. If you want to know more about real estate investment in general, and the course, you want to see the course I specifically created for software developers about getting into real estate investment, you can check that out here. As always, it is a course that you have to apply and actually do something with to get value out of it. Just watching it doesn't do anything. But today I'm going to be talking about how to hire a good property management company, which is something that's really critical if you are going to invest in real estate. Because if you get a bad property management company, it can basically be the difference between having a good investment and a bad investment. A bad property management company can be one of the worst choices that you can make. It's more important, I think, to have a good property management company than it is to have a good property. Because you could have a great property and a bad property management company. It's going to cost you a ton of money and a big headache. And you could have a bad property, which I've got a couple of bad properties, and I've got an excellent property management company in place for that property, and they turn profits on that thing. They make it amazing. It's kind of crazy. So I've actually had points where my worst investment turned out to be my best investment just because of the property management company. So it's really important to have a good property management company. All right, so let's talk about how to hire a good property management company. So first of all, something you should know about property management companies is that a lot of them are shady and underhanded, and there's a lot of damage that they can do to you. Now, that might dissuade you from getting a property management company, but you're never going to be able to invest in real estate at a scale if you don't have a property management company, unless you're going to become a full-time property manager yourself, which is not something that I'd recommend because it's going to tie up a lot of your time. It's going to require a lot of investment of your resources, and you're going to have to learn a lot of things the hard way. If you're not the kind of person that wants to do that, wants to do handyman type of work on your own, then you should probably avoid it. I think your time is better spent somewhere else. So, property management company is the best money I spend every month as long as I have a good one. So how do you hire a good one? So what you want to look for in a property management company, obviously, in this kind of shady industry, which I'll be honest, it is a shady industry. Real estate industry, very, very shady. This is why it's so dangerous and so hard to navigate the waters here. That's why I put together my course. Again, I'll plug it one more time because I think it is really valuable to those of you that are interested. You can check it out here, but I try to give you like exactly honest, genuine advice. I'm not selling you anything on the back end. I don't have any it's just a course. Buy the course and you get the information, and I'm just being honest from my experience. So shadiness, you have to avoid that. There's a lot of bad property management companies that will try to rip you off and try to scam you, and they'll do this in various ways. One of the biggest scams that you have to watch out for is increased maintenance costs, where they'll charge you like an arm and a leg for stuff that's not really broken, and they'll send you all these bogus fees and bills and stuff, and that's really hard to guard against because that's what that's how a lot of shady companies make their money. The other thing that they'll do is charge you all kinds of crazy management fees and lease-up fees and stuff like that, beyond what's reasonable, and then maybe they'll do a bad job of getting tenants in there and sell you eviction protection and stuff like that. And some of these things are standard, and a lot of property management companies would do this, but what I'm saying is it doesn't indicate that they're a bad property management company, but you got to be careful for the companies that are just operating out of that. So what you want to look for in a property management company, number one, is honesty. So, and what you want to do is you want to interview multiple property management companies. So if you're looking to invest in a particular geographic region, I would at a minimum interview 5 property management companies in that area and talk to them. And do not just negotiate on rate. Do not just, do not rate shop here, because the rate that they charge, right, the difference is going to be very small. There's not a huge difference between a 7% property management rate and a 10%, which 10% is probably what you should expect to pay. It's not huge, but the difference between one extra maintenance bill or one overcharge is going to be big. It could cost you a lot of money, or having extra vacancies or a bunch of damage to your unit. So don't worry so much about that. Obviously filter for exorbitant fees. Look at the contracts and the kind of money that they're going to charge you for things like lease up fees and doing inspections and things like that. But you want to interview these property management companies, and you want to ask them a bunch of questions, right? You want to ask them some questions like, obviously, what are their fees? What is their philosophy on property management? How do they manage the properties? What kind of repairs do they do? What kind of inspections? How do they get tenants? How do they screen for tenants, and what makes a good tenant, and how do they know that? What is the process that they use? How do they do move outs and inspections like that? How do they handle damage? What does their lease look like? All the kind of questions that you can think of that you'd be interested in, especially around maintenance, I would say as well, right? You want to know, do they have an in-house maintenance team? Do they have a markup on that maintenance team? Do they get 3 bids for things? How do they reduce maintenance costs for you, right? What is the average maintenance cost as a percentage of the rent of their clients, right? And then you want to get a list of referrals for their clients. And one way to do this that's interesting that you could do, instead of just asking them directly for a list of clients, is you can look and see what properties are being rented out by them. Like, you can go to their site, and then you can go and you can look up on the tax record and see who the owner is. And a lot of times you can just look up that information, or you can ask the title company to pull that data for you if you're willing to pay, right? And it's probably worth the investment in a lot of cases. And then you can go and you can send an email, or you can send a letter, and perhaps find the contact information and call that owner directly and see how it's working for them, and see if you can get some data and some financials. And you want to ask a property management company for financials. Now, again, this is a lot of work, right? I'm telling you, but you want to do your due diligence here, and you want to make sure that you do a good job in vetting these property management companies out. And then, if you've got enough of them that you're talking to, you should be able to pick 1 or 2 good ones. You should always have one and then one backup. That's what I'd recommend. And so you're going to talk to the one that you're going to hire, and if they start to screw you over, you're ready. You have the ability to cut over to the backup if you need to. I've had to fire a lot of property management companies in my day because of shady practices or just plain incompetence, right? So this is complicated, right? This is hard stuff. And I'll be honest, right? This is a simple programmer. I try to make things as simple as possible, but there's some things that there's just no way around this, which is, but it's worth the investment. It's worth the time, because once you have a good property management company that you can rely on, then you can focus on what you do best, which is to make the money and then to invest the money to buy the properties, rather than on managing the property or dealing with the property management company. And I'll tell you this as well, no property management company is going to be perfect. They're always going to be trying to make money, and they're going to not do as good of a job as you would do managing your own property, because it's not their own property, it's not their own investment. But you got to find what is the best of what is out there, and what is an acceptable level. It's not going to be as efficient as you want, but I would also give you one other hint here, which is that make it a pain in the ass for a property management company to rip you off, right? So if you start to suspect that they're not caring about the maintenance, and they're having all these bills that they're sending you, and they're doing unnecessary repairs and stuff, then ask for more details. Constantly make it a pain in the ass, so that the path of least resistance will be to not do unnecessary maintenance on your property. Just a few tips there. If you've got some ideas on how to hire a good property management company, if you've done that before, definitely leave a comment below. I'm sure people will be interested in finding that out. Again, if you want to check out my course on real estate investment for software developers, you can check it out here. I've got some options for payment plans if you don't want to pay the full course up front. It's an investment just like anything. So don't expect the price to be super small on that. That's because, hey, it's an investment. If you're going to invest in doing real estate investment, it's going to be a significant investment. It's not going to be any kind of small investment. So it's good to get the good advice and to know what you're doing. And that's what I try to do in the course. Anyway, I'm happy to do more of these videos, answer any questions you like. If you have a question for me, email me at john@simpleprogrammer.com. And if you like this video, if you want more videos like this one and videos on all kinds of areas of your life, click that subscribe button below and you'll get access to my videos. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.